A powerful message is said to arrive in the quiet hours of the night, when the world is still, and only the most sensitive hearts seem to notice a subtle change in the atmosphere. In this vision-like moment, Archangel Michael is described as stepping forward with a strong yet steady presence, bringing a warning meant to awaken awareness rather than create fear. The message emphasizes urgency, suggesting that what is unfolding is not random or insignificant, but something that calls for attention and clarity. It is said that this moment is not a coincidence for the one receiving it, but a form of spiritual alert meant to open deeper understanding. The message continues by hinting that unseen forces or hidden intentions may be working quietly in the background of one's life, not necessarily to cause harm, but to create confusion, delay, or misdirection away from personal purpose. Archangel Michael's voice is portrayed as firm and unwavering, reminding the listener that higher awareness is always present, even when life feels uncertain. The guidance encourages staying alert and reflective, not rushing past inner intuition or subtle signs. It suggests that truth eventually rises to the surface, even when hidden for a time, and that clarity begins to form when one pays attention rather than ignores inner signals. The overall tone of the message is not about fear, but about awakening, awareness, and protection through understanding. It closes with the idea that perception may shift, revealing patterns that were once overlooked, and that with awareness comes the strength to move forward with greater confidence and inner stability. It's real and it's happening right now. There are people, sometimes even those we trust, who carry envy, bitterness, or hidden hatred. They may smile at you, but deep within they have already spoken words of curse against your life. God has seen it. Michael has heard the whispers in the dark, and this message is the heavenly intervention you've been praying for. Listen carefully. The person who ordered your downfall has made one mistake. They forgot that divine justice always strikes before destruction is complete. God is not just warning you, He's equipping you. You are being prepared for victory. The same hand that tried to erase your name will now witness your rising. You not be afraid. Fear feeds the enemy. Faith disarms him. As Michael descended, his sword of light sliced through every chain that had been placed over your destiny. Heaven is declaring war against what was meant to destroy you. This is not coincidence. This is the moment heaven steps into your story. Type Amen 2549. To receive divine protection, type Amen 8753. If you believe that no weapon formed against you shall prosper, because from this point forward everything changes. In the next heartbeat you'll begin to feel it, the shift in energy, the stirring in your spirit. It's the signal that Archangel Michael is standing near, guarding your steps. Stay with me. Do not leave. The message is only beginning to unfold, and the revelation that comes next will expose the truth about who ordered your fall, and why heaven has chosen this very moment to stop them. The night after, the first warning, strange things began to happen. The air felt heavier, the silence more pronounced. You could almost sense that something unseen was watching, waiting. Archangel Michael's words echoed in your spirit. This is not a joke. It's an emergency. That voice wouldn't fade, and deep inside, you knew this was no ordinary message. This was divine intervention disguised as revelation. God had spoken, and the message was clear. Someone had ordered your destruction. But this isn't about fear. This is about awareness. Because once you know who stands against you, heaven can act on your behalf. Michael never arrives without purpose. When he comes, It's because the order of heaven had been signed to protect what belongs to God. And right now, that means you. As you listen, don't turn away. There's a reason you were led here at this precise moment in time. Your spirit was drawn because you are under divine watch. You need to hear everything that follows, because by the time this message ends, what was meant for your death will be reversed into your deliverance. But to unlock that blessing, stay with me till the end. Every word carries power. Every sentence carries truth. There's someone around you, someone you least suspect, who has been feeding off your light. They can't stand the grace you carry, the favor that follows you. They might smile in your face, but in hidden corners they've whispered against you. They've spoken curses instead of blessings, and instead of encouragement. Heaven has seen it all. Their actions have reached the throne of God. And that's why the warning came so suddenly. You might have wondered why things started breaking around you. Plans falling apart, unexpected losses, sudden emotional storms. These were not coincidences. These were signs. The spiritual battle around you intensified, because the enemy grew desperate. The moment heaven marked you for elevation, darkness tried to interfere, but they forgot that Archangel Michael has never lost a battle. God says, I will reveal their names. I will unmask the one who thought they could destroy what I have chosen. This is your season of revelation. You are not hearing this message to be afraid. You're hearing it to prepare. Because when divine truth comes, it always exposes hidden evil. The person who ordered your downfall has already been identified in heaven's records. What they planned in secret will soon become public. And when that happens, you'll understand why God waited until now to warn you. If this message is stirring something deep within you, that's not coincidence. It's confirmation. The Spirit is speaking, urging you to act in faith. Top Amen 92:10 to seal your protection right now. And if you're still here, still listening, it means heaven has marked you for a greater purpose. But I want to pause for a moment and ask how many more souls need to hear this. How many lives could be saved if this message reached just one more person? So right now, if you believe that divine protection is real, if you believe that this message carries truth, take 1 second to like this video, share it with someone you love, and come unprotected by Michael to declare your faith. When you do that, you're not just spreading a message, you're spreading light. And heaven takes notice of every act of faith. And now, listen closely. Archangel Michael has been dispatched not only to warn you, but to surround you. He stands at the 4 corners of your home, his sword drawn, his armor gleaming with divine fire. The forces that once plotted against you are trembling, because the command has gone forth, touch not my anointed, and do my prophets no harm. The one who thought they could end you will watch as everything they sent returns upon their own head. You might feel the pressure right now, the sudden weight of unseen warfare, but remember, every battle you face is proof that you are valuable to heaven. God does not defend what is disposable. He defends what carries destiny. That's why the enemy came after you so hard, because you are close to a major breakthrough. The same storm that tried to drown you is now the proof that the enemy is losing control. Here's something you must understand. Spiritual attacks often come right before promotion. When things start moving closer to a breakthrough, challenges often feel heavier and more intense, as if everything is testing your patience and strength at once. But this moment is not meant to break you. It's meant to shape you. The fact that you're reflecting on this message right now suggests you're already moving through a turning point where clarity begins to replace confusion, What once felt like setbacks or unanswered questions may actually be guiding you toward a stronger and more grounded version of yourself. Every delay, every emotional weight, and every unexpected shift you have experienced recently has played a role in bringing you to a deeper understanding of your path. Nothing about your journey has been wasted or sandal. Even the quiet, difficult moments have been building resilience within you. As you move forward, stay observant and mindful, because life often reveals truths gradually through people's actions, changing circumstances, and clearer perspectives. You may begin to notice that situations once held in place start to move, and opportunities that felt distant become more reachable, not by coincidence, but through timing and effort aligning in a meaningful way. The key is to remain steady, not fearful, and to trust your own judgment more than doubt or uncertainty. Speak to yourself with confidence each day, reinforcing your ability to handle whatever comes your way. And remind yourself that you are capable of rising above challenges with clarity and calm. Support often appears in unexpected forms, and lessons can come from both comfort and difficulty. If you stay patient and aware, you will begin to see how earlier struggles contribute to present strength, and how your journey continues to unfold in ways that build confidence, direction, and personal growth. But for now, hold this truth close. You are protected, chosen, and watched over. When heaven intervenes, no enemy can prevail. The message from heaven did not end with a warning. In fact, that night marked only the beginning of what was to come. The air around you began to shift. Dreams became vivid, moments of silence grew loud, and your spirit started to pick up on things that your eyes couldn't yet see. Archangel Michael's presence wasn't just felt, it was known. The temperature would drop when he entered a room. The atmosphere itself seemed to listen when his voice echoed, "Be alert! The enemy is close." Every chosen soul has a moment when the unseen world reveals its reality. You might think the people around you are simply living, laughing, and moving about, but there are hidden currents behind every action, unseen forces influencing events that shape your life. This is not fiction, it's a spiritual fact. And right now, heaven wants you to know that the person who sought your harm didn't act alone. There are darker powers at play, forces that hate light, purity, and divine favor. You are at target because you carry something holy. But here's the truth. They never expected. You are not defenseless. You have divine backing. You have angels surrounding you. You have Michael himself standing guard, his sword drawn and his gaze fixed upon the darkness that has tried to corner you. The enemy's whispers began long ago. They started with jealousy, then grew into resentment. Words were spoken behind your back, not just out of anger but out of deep spiritual manipulation. Someone allowed themselves to become a vessel for darkness, letting envy feed their intent. What they don't understand is that when they ordered your downfall, they activated heaven's protection over you. Every time they spoke your name with hate, heaven wrote your name in fire upon the book of life. You must understand this truth. What was meant to destroy you has now marked you for double restoration. The pain you endured was not punishment, it was preparation. The betrayal that broke you was a doorway into spiritual maturity. God never allows an attack without a purpose, and Archangel Michael says this directly to you now. Your tears were not in vain. Your prayers have been heard. The battle has already shifted. The very moment those who conspired against you believed they had won, heaven moved. What they built against you will collapse beneath their own feet. You will not fall. You will rise higher than ever before. Type Amen 6612. to activate divine reversal over your life right now. Do not be surprised if strange things begin to happen in the coming days. Unexplained peace, sudden changes in mood, people revealing their hidden motives. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. Heaven is uncovering every deception that has surrounded you. The truth that was once buried is now being unearthed. You may find that some people who once stood beside you suddenly drift away. Don't fight it. It's divine separation. When God elevates someone, He clears the atmosphere first. Some connections must break before your blessings can flow freely. And while that may hurt, it's Heaven's way of saying, I am preparing you for something greater. Remember, every storm that has touched your life carries a message. Some storms come to destroy, but others come to clear the path. You are walking into a season where every closed door will begin to make sense. The rejection you faced was redirection. The delay you hated was divine protection. Do not forget what Archangel Michael said. This is not a joke. It's an emergency. That statement was not meant to scare you. It was meant to awaken you. The spiritual realm is alive with movement. The angels are already at work. You have no idea how many accidents, betrayals, or traps have already been dismantled by divine intervention before they ever reached you. If you are still here, still listening, it means the message was meant for you. Heaven knows your heart. Heaven knows your struggle. And heaven knows how close the enemy came to taking you out, but failed. You are not just surviving. You are being reborn through revelation. There are moments in life when it feels like unseen forces are working against you, when misunderstanding, hardship, or betrayal create a heavy emotional weight that is difficult to carry. In such times, it is important to remember that time has a way of revealing truth and justice, however you understand it spiritually, often unfolds in ways beyond immediate perception. When negativity is directed toward someone who remains sincere and grounded, it eventually loses its strength and gives way to clarity. What truly matters is how you respond in those moments of pressure. Holding on to anger can feel natural, but choosing forgiveness can be far more powerful, because it allows your heart to stay free rather than trapped in pain. Forgiveness does not mean approving what hurt you. It means releasing its control over your peace while still learning from the experience. As you move forward, you begin to notice a shift within yourself, a calmer mind, a steadier spirit, and a growing sense of resilience that was built through endurance. Many people describe this inner strength as a quiet reassurance that they are not walking through challenges alone, but supported by faith, hope, or a deeper sense of purpose. In that space, fear slowly loses its grip, and confidence begins to return. You start to understand that every difficult chapter has shaped you rather than broken you, preparing you for what comes next. When peace finally settles in, take a moment to breathe deeply, reflect on how far you have come, and acknowledge the strength that carried you through. This is your resurrection season. The stone that was rolled in front of your life is being moved. The same voices that spoke against you will soon bear witness to your rising. The enemy's laughter is about to turn into silence. You must not skip a single word of this series. What's coming next is the unveiling of truth that will not only expose the plot, but reveal why you were chosen in the first place. There's something divine hidden inside your pain, and it's about to be released in full power. Your survival was not an accident, it was prophecy, and now that you've been warned, You are being armed. Heaven's army is on your side, and the enemy has no idea what's about to come. Stay alert, stay strong, and stay in faith. The battle is not over, but the victory is already written in your name. The silence before revelation is the loudest sound in the universe. It is the pause before heaven speaks, the stillness before truth breaks through the veil. For days, you might have felt it, unease, flashes of intuition, the sudden awareness that something was about to be revealed. That feeling wasn't anxiety, it was spiritual alignment. You were sensing heaven's movement, preparing your soul to hear what few ever get to know. Archangel Michael stands now in the realm between light and shadow, his wings blazing with fire that does not burn, but purifies. He looks upon you and says, "It's time." For too long, the enemy has hidden behind masks, pretending to be friend, ally, or even family. But heaven's decree is clear. The masquerade ends today. You are about to see who they are. Not by gossip, not by rumor, but through divine exposure. The one who ordered your fall, the one who plotted your downfall, has already been named in the courts of heaven. God does not speak lightly. When he sends Michael to deliver such a message, it is because justice has reached maturity. What they meant for death, heaven will turn into revelation. But before this unveiling, you must remain strong in spirit. Do not allow anger to take root in your heart. Anger clouds discernment. The truth you're about to receive requires clarity. You are not to retaliate. You are to observe, because when God reveals, he also instructs. The exposure of your enemy is not meant to stir revenge. It is meant to bring peace. Type Amen 4682 to declare that you are ready to see the truth through divine eyes. The night that followed the revelation was unlike any before. The air itself seemed to hum with energy, thick, vibrating, alive. You could feel the unseen world shifting around you, like the turning of great cosmic gears. Something was breaking. Something ancient and heavy was being lifted off your shoulders. Even though you couldn't explain how, Archangel Michael's words still echoed in the back of your mind. The circle of deceit is closing. You knew what that meant. Divine justice had been set in motion. And once heaven moves, no power on earth can halt it. When God decides it is time to restore his chosen, the spiritual atmosphere changes first. Things begin to rearrange in silence before they manifest in the physical. That is why confusion rises just before clarity arrives. Darkness always fights hardest when it's about to lose its grip. That's what you're feeling now. The shaking, the tension, the silent battles in your thoughts. But do not mistake this storm for chaos. It's the sound of chains breaking. Archangel Michael now stands guard at the threshold of your breakthrough. His sword glows brighter than it ever has, because the enemy that once hid in shadows hath been dragged into light. Michael speaks once more, his voice like thunder rolling across eternity. The decree has been issued. The weapon that was formed against you will now be turned upon its maker. It's a frightening thought, isn't it? The idea that those who plotted against you will now face the consequences of their own creation. But understand, this is not vengeance. This is divine justice. Heaven's law is not driven by anger. It is driven by balance. What is sent out into the world returns multiplied to its sender. The curses, the lies, the whispered hatred, all of it is now circling back to where it came from. You need not lift a finger. You need only stand in faith. Type Amen 7590 if you believe that divine justice will always prevail. The storm will not harm you. It was never meant to. It is the storm of purification. You see, the moment you stepped into awareness, when you received the first warning, you broke a cycle. The enemy depended on your ignorance. They wanted you to move blindly, to live unaware of their traps. But once light entered, the patterns shattered. You are no longer prey. You are awakened. You may have noticed your emotions shifting more quickly lately. One moment there is calm, and the next, waves of sadness or irritation appear. This is not a sign of weakness. It is part of a deeper emotional release, where your mind and body begin to let go of what has been weighing on you for a long time. You are slowly shedding old stress, memories, and influences that no longer serve your well-being, and your inner system is learning to adjust to a more balanced state. Do not resist what comes up. Allow the emotions to move through you without judgment. Even tears can be a natural form of relief, helping your mind clear what it has held for too long. Over time, you may notice subtle changes, a sense of calm returning after restless nights, unexpected moments of warmth during reflection or prayer, or a feeling of clarity when things once felt chaotic. These are signs that your inner world is reorganizing itself. Life is not working against you. It is often guiding you towards stability in quiet ways. What once felt overwhelming begins to lose its weight. Instead of focusing on external struggles or imagining hidden forces, try turning your attention inward, where healing actually takes place. Your growth is not about winning or losing against anything outside you, but about becoming more grounded, patient, and self-aware. As you continue forward, choose gentleness with yourself. Progress is often silent, but it is real. Do not let pride steal your peace. You are not being elevated to prove your enemies wrong. You are being elevated to prove God right. Archangel Michael whispers, "Do not fear the noise of collapse. When structures of deceit fall, the ground shakes." And indeed, it will shake. Relationships may end, familiar faces may distance themselves, opportunities that once seemed promising may close abruptly. But understand this, heaven removes what cannot go with you. Every door that shuts is divine protection. Every person who leaves is making space for your destiny. You are stepping into alignment. That's why your spirit feels both heavy and light at once. It's the balance of release and renewal. This is the divine paradox of transformation. Something dies before something greater is born. Top Amen 68:43. To declare that your rebirth begins now. In the midst of this spiritual turning point, stay grounded in gratitude. The enemy feeds on fear and doubt, but gratitude blinds him. Every time you thank God for your life, for your protection, for your awakening, darkness loses ground. Your gratitude is your sword. Use it daily. Speak it aloud even when you don't feel thankful, because words shape energy, and energy shapes reality. Now, take this moment to breathe and remember how far you've come. You were not supposed to survive this long. The enemy had planned for your exhaustion, for your silence, for your surrender, but you are still here. You are proof that light endures. Every breath you take is rebellion against darkness. Every prayer you whisper is a declaration of victory. Do not forget, the tide has turned. What once pursued you is now fleeing from you. What once found you is now breaking. You will begin to see unexpected breakthroughs, financial shifts, emotional healing, sudden clarity, favor from unlikely places. These are signs that the spiritual storm has completed its cycle. The night is almost over. When dawn comes, it will bring more than light. It will bring restoration. Not only will your enemies be revealed, but your purpose will become undeniable. You will begin to see why you had to walk through pain, why the betrayal had to happen, why the silence was necessary. Every moment was molding you into someone who could handle what's coming next. You were never meant to be a victim of darkness. You were meant to be a carrier of light. That is why Michael was sent to you. That is why heaven has not left your side. This battle was never just about survival. It was about transformation. You are becoming what you were always meant to be. Untouchable by evil, unstoppable by fear, unbreakable by betrayal. And now, heaven watches as you stand strong, awakened, fearless. The tide has turned, and this time, it will not turn back. There is always a moment between darkness and dawn when the world holds its breath, a stillness so complete that even the air seems to wait. That's where you are now, standing on the threshold between what was and what will be. Archangel Michael's presence surrounds you like a fortress. The war that once raged unseen is quiet now, not because it has ended, but because heaven has gained the upper hand. This quiet is not empty, it's full of divine movement. It's the pause before manifestation, the silence before light floods in. You might feel as though everything is suspended, as if your life has been placed on hold. Do not mistake this pause for delay. In heaven's language, stillness is preparation. You are being recalibrated, refined, made ready for the next chapter of your divine assignment. But another God, what was done to you? The person who ordered your downfall has already faced the divine mirror. There is no escaping the reflection of one's deeds. Heaven does not need revenge. It simply restores balance. Every action creates a vibration. And the one who sent harm your way is now living in the echo of their own choices. The time for exposure has passed. The time for consequence has begun. Archangel Michael stands watch, not to destroy, but to ensure completion. His sword, once raised for battle, now glows with calm light, the sign that justice is being executed. He says to you, the storm did not come to break you, but came to wake you. And indeed, you are awakening. You are beginning to see patterns you once missed, people you once misunderstood, and opportunities you once overlooked. The fog that blurred your discernment has lifted, and what remains is clarity born of pain. Do not be afraid of your awakening. Many fear awareness because it demands change. But you, chosen one, were not designed to remain asleep. God has pulled you from the crowd, because your purpose cannot survive in blindness. The world needs you awake. Your life carries a vibration that shifts the atmosphere around you, even when you say nothing. That is why the attack came, to silence that vibration. What darkness once intended to silence has instead become the force that amplifies inner awakening. Like pressure that carries sound farther, every challenge seems to deepen awareness rather than diminish it. As life unfolds, subtle yet striking confirmations begin to appear, as if an unseen order is gently revealing itself through everyday moments. A passing conversation that unexpectedly resonates. An instinct that arrives without explanation. Repeating numbers or vivid dreams that linger long after waking. All of these begin to feel meaningful rather than random. Many interpret such patterns as guidance working through divine alignment and spiritual synchronicity. With this shift, perception itself becomes sharper. Environments, intentions, and emotions are no longer absorbed passively, but felt with clarity. Where once everything felt neutral, now energy carries distinct weight, allowing easier recognition of sincerity or imbalance in people and places. This heightened awareness is often described as discernment, a protective refinement of intuition that encourages more mindful choices and boundaries. Alongside this sensitivity grows a deeper desire for authenticity and peace, making anything deceptive or misaligned increasingly difficult to tolerate. This internal change naturally reshapes relationships, priorities, and direction in life. Connections that no longer align begin to fade, while truth-based bonds strengthen. Over time, even those who once misunderstood or doubted may come to recognize the transformation that has taken place, not through confrontation or resistance, but through the undeniable evolution of character, presence, and quiet confidence. It becomes less about proving anything and more about embodying the change that has already occurred, allowing life itself to reflect the growth without the need for explanation. Over time, inner stability replaces confusion, and quiet certainty becomes the new foundation of direction. Heaven will do that for you. Type Amen 3520 if you receive this promise of vindication. As you continue listening, remember that every transformation requires surrender. You cannot carry old wounds into new seasons. Release the weight. Let go of resentment. It's over now. The fight you once waged is no longer yours. Michael has already won it in the spiritual realm. Your role is to heal, to grow, to prepare for what's next. When you forgive, you release yourself from the last tie that connects you to the past. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is liberation. It's saying you no longer have access to my energy. The enemy feeds on bitterness. Starve him by choosing peace. You may feel moments of loneliness in this season. That's natural. Spiritual awakening can isolate you because few understand the language of light. But remember, solitude is where revelation speaks loudest. When the crowd falls silent, heaven whispers secrets meant only for you. You are not being abandoned. You are being recalibrated to a higher frequency where only truth can exist. In this stillness, take time to listen to your own spirit. What does it crave? What is it warning you about? What does it dream of? You'll find that God speaks not only through angels, but through your own intuition. The divine is not far from you. It flows through you. The same power that raised you from despair is the power that now directs your steps. Michael now speaks one more time, his voice steady and sure. The awakening is irreversible. Once light enters, it cannot be dim. Walk in it. Those words are not mere comfort, they are command. Walk in your truth, speak it, live it. Every step you take in awareness expands the territory of light on earth. The hour of awakening is not just about personal revelation, it's about divine alignment. You are being positioned for purpose. Every hardship you endured has shaped you into a vessel strong enough to carry something sacred. You will notice divine opportunities aligning, connections that feel destined, doors opening without effort, timing that feels miraculous. This is the flow of awakened living. When you are in sync with heaven, everything begins to move with grace. But stay vigilant. Awakening does not end the battle, it changes its form. The enemy will attempt subtle distractions, whispers of doubt, echoes of old fear. Recognize them for what they are, tests of focus. Keep your gaze upward. Keep your heart steady. The same God who brought you through the night will not abandon you in the dawn. Do not skip this message. The deeper truths are still unfolding. What awaits beyond this awakening will not only redefine your life, it will reshape your destiny. You are walking into a season where your mere presence will shift atmospheres. Light recognizes light. The awakened draw the awakened. You are part of something much larger than yourself. Hold fast to faith. Trust the process. The pain was never wasted. It was a blueprint for rebirth. The hour of awakening has arrived, and the world will soon know that you survive not by chance, but by divine command. The first light of morning was not ordinary light. It was softer, whiter, almost alive, as if every ray carried a message from heaven itself. When you stepped into that light, the world around you seemed different. The colors were clearer, the air cleaner, even the sound of your breath carried harmony. Archangel Michael stood beside you, his armor no longer blazing for battle, but gleaming with quiet peace. The fight has ended, he said. Now begins the restoration. The river of light spread before you, a current of energy flowing through everything that lives. You had walked through shadow long enough to recognize the beauty of illumination. Each drop of this river shimmered with the prayers you had whispered during nights of despair. Every tear you ever cried had become part of it, purified, transformed into strength. Michael gestured toward the water. "Step in," he said. "You have nothing left to fear." When your feet touched the current, warmth moved through you like a song. It was not the warmth of sunlight, but of truth. You could feel memories, pain, even guilt, being washed away. All the heaviness you had carried began to dissolve. For the first time in years, perhaps in your entire life, you understood what peace felt like. Not the peace of quiet circumstances, but the peace that surpasses understanding. Type Amen. 4125. To affirm that peace is returning to your life. As the current carried you onward, scenes of your life began to surface like drifting reflections on water. They were not appearing to trap you in the past, but to reshape how you understood it. Moments once interpreted as setbacks, now revealed a deeper design, as though hardship had been quietly assembling you for something greater. The betrayals that once fractured your trust had also strengthened your inner foundation, teaching resilience in places you never knew were weak. The solitude that once felt endless now seemed like space being prepared for clarity and higher connection. Even the unanswered moments you once called silence felt different here, as if every prayer had been received in a language beyond sound. A familiar presence seemed to echo within the flow, reminding you that nothing you endured was without purpose. Every experience returned now as insight rather than pain. Looking into the moving surface below, you noticed a soft radiance forming around your reflection. Old scars were no longer marks of damage but patterns of light, like a constellation written across your being. Each glow represented understanding earned through struggle, each shimmer a step beyond former darkness. The world around you responded in kind, as if awakening alongside your transformation. Trees rose gently from the earth, their leaves catching a luminous breeze, while the air filled with sounds of renewal. Life itself seemed to celebrate your continued existence. A quiet message echoed within the moment, suggesting this was not a return to what you once were, but an arrival into what you were always becoming. As you closed your eyes, memories gathered, not as losses but as fragments reshaped into possibility, lighter and alive. You understood. Nothing good is ever truly lost, it only waits to return in a higher form. Gratitude welled inside you, overwhelming, holy. You whispered, "Thank you," and heaven heard it as a hymn. The path ahead was bright, but unfamiliar. Michael stepped aside. "You will walk from here," he said. "My watch continues, but your journey belongs to you now. Remember the river, return to it in prayer. Its current will always find you." You hesitated, not from fear, but awe. To live freely after years of struggle felt like standing on new earth. The courage to begin again rose like dawn inside your heart. Type Amen 90 to 56 if you choose to walk forward in light. As you moved along the shore, you noticed how effortlessly blessings began to appear. Doors that had resisted you before now opened with gentle ease. People who carried genuine love were drawn to you. Projects, ideas, and dreams once stalled began to move as if propelled by invisible hands. It was not luck. It was alignment. When a soul lives in truth, the universe cooperates. You discovered that speaking kindness healed faster than any medicine, that gratitude multiplied provision, that resting in faith attracted peace stronger than any plan. You became the evidence of divine restoration. Those who once doubted you began to notice the change, not because you preached, but because you radiated. Your life itself had become a testimony, and yet Michael's final words lingered in your mind. Guard your light. You understood their meaning as soon as you stepped back into the world. Light attracts everything, moths and butterflies alike. Some will seek your warmth, others will try to dim it. But you now carried discernment, forged through fire. The difference between the two was no longer hidden from you. So you began to set boundaries, not walls. You learned to say yes with purpose and no with peace. You realized that serving others did not mean losing yourself. Compassion, when balanced with wisdom, became your new armor. And each act of love, no matter how small, rippled outward through the river of light, touching lives you would never meet. One evening, as you stood beneath a sky crowded with stars, you sensed Michael near again. His presence was calm, immense, familiar. "Do you see?" he asked. "A star shined not to compete, but to confirm there's enough light for all." You smiled, understanding at last. The awakening was not about one victory over darkness. It was about transforming darkness into light, so that others could find their way too. You looked at your hands, and saw faint lines of radiance flowing through your veins. You were no longer waiting for miracles. You had become one. Heaven had taken what was broken, and made it a channel of blessing. You whispered another prayer. Not for protection this time, but for purpose. "Use me to bring light wherever I go." The wind answered with quiet affirmation, carrying your words into eternity, somewhere beyond sight. Michael sheathed his sword and bowed his head, not in farewell, but in reverence for a soul who had remembered its origin. The emergency was over, the awakening complete. The river of light continued to flow, connecting every heart that chose truth over fear, compassion over judgment, faith over despair. And within its current, your story would forever travel, a story of endurance, transformation, and the unshakable promise that no darkness is permanent where light is chosen. The days after your awakening felt almost unreal, as though the very ground beneath you had changed its texture. Morning light poured through your window not as a mere event of nature, but as a reminder that creation itself was on your side. Each dawn seemed to whisper, "You have been made new." The wounds of the past no longer dictated your rhythm. They had become the soil out of which new strength grew. When Archangel Michael appeared again, there was no thunder, no flash of lightning, only a quiet radiance, like sunlight touching calm water. He smiled, not as a warrior, but as a guide. "This," he said, sweeping his hand toward the horizon, "is the season of renewal. You are ready to plant." Before you stretched a vast garden, the earth rich and dark, waiting for your hands. It wasn't just a place, it was the symbolic field of your life. Every thought, every intention, Every act of love would take root here. What you chose to plant would define the harvest ahead. Michael handed you a small pouch filled with luminous seeds. These are faith, gratitude, courage, and kindness. They told you to sow the seeds each day, but never forget that growth only happens where there is trust. So you lowered yourself into the quiet soil and began pressing them into the earth one by one, as if each movement carried intention rather than habit. With every seed, you whispered something different, words shaped like hope, clarity, and gentle joy. The ground beneath your hands felt almost alive, as though it recognized the sincerity in your actions and responded in its own subtle rhythm. As you worked, fragments of the past tried to return without warning. Old betrayals, moments of loss, and quiet fears surfaced like shadows beneath shallow water. Yet the soil seemed to take them in as well, and slowly you began to understand something deeper. Healing was never about erasing what happened, but about reshaping it into something that could sustain you. Even pain, once held with awareness, could become the foundation for renewal. Time passed in a steady cycle of planting, reflection, and stillness. Gradually, small signs of life began to appear across the earth. Delicate shoots broke through the surface, catching the light in unexpected ways, growing stronger with each passing day. They were not just plants, but reflections of an inner shift taking place within you. What once felt like limitation now carried strength, and what once seemed like weakness now held quiet purpose. A presence beside you finally spoke, explaining that renewal is never simply given. It emerges through cooperation between what is offered and what is chosen. Light may be present, but growth still depends on willingness. Those words settled deeply, reshaping your understanding. You realized then that transformation is not accidental, but the natural result of inner alignment and steady commitment to becoming. As you continued tending the garden, the world around you began to mirror your inner landscape. Conversations grew softer, more meaningful. People drawn by kindness found their way into your life. Doors opened not because you forced them, but because peace had become your invitation. One afternoon, a gentle rain began to fall. It was warm, almost sweet, and when it touched your skin, it carried the scent of renewal. The garden responded instantly, leaves glistening, blossoms opening wider. Michael lifted his face to the rain and said, "This is heaven's answer. Every seed you planted has been seen." You felt a swell of emotion rise within you, gratitude mixed with awe. You had once prayed for deliverance. Now you were living inside the answer. You realized that the most powerful form of prayer is not pleading, but partnership. When your heart aligns with divine rhythm, your life becomes prayer in motion. Type Amen 7809 if you believe your life is ready to bloom. In the days that followed, the garden grew into something extraordinary. Flowers opened in colors that didn't exist in ordinary light. Trees bore fruit that glowed softly in the dark. Every part of the garden seemed aware of you, as though it recognized your breath. You found peace there, real, tangible peace that no circumstance could disturb. Michael often visited, sometimes saying nothing at all. His silence carried wisdom. You learned that divine presence is not always loud. Often it is the quiet assurance that you are exactly where you need to be. One evening, he spoke again. "Do you see how every plant leans toward the light? That is your true nature. No matter how deep the shadow, the soul always remembers where the light is." His gaze softened. But remember also, light is not something you chase, it's something you choose to become. Those words became a revelation. You had spent years searching for peace as if it were an external place to arrive at. Now you understood that peace was a state to live from. You could carry the garden within you, no matter where you walked. As twilight fell, you noticed faint figures at the edge of the garden, people from your past, those who had once hurt you, those who had drifted away. They looked weary, burdened by the same shadows you had overcome. Instinctively, your heart ached for them. You turned to Michael and asked, "Should I send them away?" He of his head, "Let them see what light can do. Do not invite their darkness in, but do not deny them the sight of your transformation. Sometimes the healed become the mirror through which others remember their own light." So you opened the garden gates. You didn't speak words of rebuke or explanation. You simply continued tending your plants, allowing the radiance of renewal to speak for itself. Some stayed at the edge, watching silently. Others knelt, touched the soil, and began to weep. The same grace that healed you began to reach for them. At night, under a sky woven with stars, you finally understood the true meaning of the journey. It was never just about survival. It was about becoming a conduit for renewal itself. Your light was never meant to be hoarded. It was meant to multiply. You turned to Michael, gratitude swelling in your chest. "What happens now?" you asked. He smiled. "Now you live, you share, you teach by being. And when you grow weary, the garden will remind you, renewal is endless." The wind carried the scent of blossoms through the air, mingled with the sound of laughter from those who had found peace in your light. You closed your eyes and let the stillness settle. The garden had become more than a place. It was now part of you. Every heartbeat was a seed. Every breath was rain. Every act of love was sunlight. The cycle of divine renewal would continue, not as a miracle bestowed, but as a rhythm live. The shadows had taught you the value of dawn. Now the dawn taught you the beauty of endless beginning. And somewhere, unseen but near, Archangel Michael whispered a final blessing over the garden. "May this light never fade, and may every soul who steps within remember who they are." Dawn arrived without announcement, slipping in softly rather than breaking the night. Light spread across the world like a quiet confession, revealing shapes, colors, and a stillness that felt almost sacred. When the first warmth reached your face, your eyes opened not with surprise, but with a strange familiarity, as if something inside you had been waiting for this exact moment. The garden you once imagined remained shimmering with morning dew, each leaf holding tiny reflections of the sky. Yet the greater change was not around you but within you. The need to search for proof had faded, replaced by a deep sense of belonging, as though you were no longer a visitor to meaning but part of it. A short distance away, a figure stood in calm presence. Michael's expression carried a steady reassurance, and the light around him seemed to gather rather than scatter, like dawn given form. "You have learned how to receive," he said gently. "Now comes the lesson of giving without losing yourself." You moved forward toward a stone fountain at the center of the garden, its water rising and falling in a rhythm that felt ancient and alive. He explained that it reflected an inner truth, a reminder that grace flows constantly through all living things, asking only to be shared rather than stored. As you listened, the sound of water became almost like language. Memories rose within you, moments of misunderstanding, voices once heavy with judgment. Yet, instead of weight, they now brought clarity, revealing how every encounter carried its own unseen struggle. In that quiet understanding, something inside you softened, as if a long-held tension had finally begun to dissolve completely now. The realization softened you. You finally understood that compassion is not approval, it is wisdom wearing mercy. Michael's voice broke the silence. Grace is not weakness, it is strength refined. To walk in grace is to carry heaven's patience into a world that has forgotten gentleness. You nodded, feeling the truth of it resonate through your chest. The armor you had built through struggle did not vanish, but it grew lighter. Strength no longer meant hardness. It meant openness guided by discernment. As you sat beside the fountain, you noticed the water reflecting scenes of people far beyond the garden. Faces filled with worry, loneliness, and fatigue. These were souls scattered across the world, yearning for hope. They can feel the light you carry, Michael said. When you act with love, even silently, ripples reach them. Grace travels faster than words. You reached out to touch the water, and when your fingers met its surface, circles of light expanded outward. Somewhere, unseen heart steadied. Somewhere, fear gained way to calm. You realized you no longer needed grand gestures or sermons. Your very existence, lined with grace, was enough to heal. Type Amen 571 if you believe your kindness can ripple across the world. The days in the garden became a rhythm of learning. You discovered how grace could transform ordinary acts, how listening without judgment could lift another soul, how offering time or a smile could alter the energy of an entire day. Each small act became a seed of healing. You were living proof that holiness was never about perfection, but about presence. Sometimes you still felt the faint echo of old wounds. Michael assured you that this was normal. Grace does not erase memory, he said. It sanctifies it. The scar remains, not as evidence of harm, but as a mark of wisdom. When others see it, they will know survival is possible. You looked at your hands and saw that the faint constellations of light still shimmered beneath your skin. They had become the script of your story. Pain were written as promise. One evening, a soft golden mist rolled into the garden. Michael explained it was the breath of creation, the living reminder that everything continues to unfold. Grace is movement, he said. The moment it stops flowing, it becomes pride. Keep it moving. You understood. To keep grace alive, it must be shared. So you began to reach out beyond the garden. You visited places once colored by sorrow, old memories, lost dreams, and blessed them silently. You reached people who had once opposed you, not with words, but with goodwill that expected nothing in return. Each act felt like releasing another thread of light into the tapestry of life. The more you gave, the more strength returned to you. Grace, it seemed, multiplied in motion. Through it all, Michael remained near, sometimes visible, sometimes not. His presence no longer startled you, it steadied you. He had become less of a guardian and more of a reminder that heaven and earth were not separate worlds, but intertwined dimensions of one great love. You began to sense that your work in the garden was coming to an end, not because something was wrong, but because completion carries its own call. Michael appeared once more at dawn, the light behind him almost blending into his wings. You have learned to turn pain into purpose, and purpose into peace, he said. Now the garden no longer belongs only to you. It will live wherever you bring grace. You walked to the edge of the field and looked back. The blossoms glowed softly, each one reflecting a chapter of your journey. You whispered a blessing over them, knowing they would continue to bloom for others who needed rest. The gate opened easily this time. You stepped through with no fear, only quiet certainty. Beyond the garden stretched a path leading into the world, the same world that had once wounded you, yet it looked different now. The same streets of the same people, but covered in a sheen of possibility. You felt Michael's hand rest briefly on your shoulder. Remember, he said, your presence is a doorway. Wherever you walk, heaven finds room to enter. A morning air was cool, full of new promise. You took your first step forward, carrying within you the calm of the fountain and the hum of the river. Every breath became a prayer, every heartbeat a song of gratitude. You were not leaving the sacred behind, you were carrying it with you. As you disappeared down the path, the garden shimmered once more, then blended into light. Its energy moved through you, through the air, through every life that would one day cross your path. The cycle of grace was complete, and yet it had only begun. Archangel Michael watched for a while longer, then turned his gaze to the horizon. The world felt immense, yet you sensed you were no longer alone in its unfolding, because something within you had awakened and begun to reflect outward, touching lives you would never fully know. One awakened presence can ripple through countless others, and as you moved along the open road toward a softer dawn, it felt as though grace itself had finally learned your name. Evening arrived gently, without heaviness, painting the horizon in gold that slowly melted into violet, each shade seeming alive, as if the sky were breathing in quiet rhythm. You walked until the path opened onto a hill, where the world revealed itself below you, in vast continuity: cities, rivers, forests, all moving under a subtle shared light. Beside you appeared Michael again, not in armor but in a radiance so calm it felt like sound made visible. He said, "This is where the path returns to its origin, not the beginning of time, but the remembrance of who you have always been." You looked over the living earth and felt every heartbeat woven into a single vast rhythm that held all things together. The pain you once carried no longer stood against you. It had transformed into harmony, becoming another note in the music of becoming. Was all of it necessary, you asked? Michael smiled with timeless kindness and answered that everything leading a soul toward love is part of its necessary unfolding: storms, silence, and fire, all disguised as teachers. Without them, you would never learn how to shine without being consumed. You let the words settle until they became stillness itself, as the wind carried the distant scent of the garden, now far behind, yet still alive within you. Wherever you offered peace, a new blossom would bloom. Type MN8024 to affirm that light walks with you from this day forward. Michael lifted his gaze toward the sky, where the first stars began to flicker. "These are reminders," he said. "They show that light remains even when the sun is gone. When you doubt, look up. The same Creator who scattered stars has placed one inside you." Silence fell between you, but it was a kind of silence that speaks volumes. You felt gratitude expanding through your chest until it overflowed. You wanted to give it somewhere to go. So you whispered a final prayer, not asking, not pleading, simply offering thanks for every step, every scar, every mercy disguised as delay. The archangel's voice grew distant, merging with the wind. "Go in peace. Life is proof that grace is real." His figure faded into brightness, leaving only warmth behind. You turned toward the world below, your heart calm, your spirit bright. You no longer needed signs or assurances. The revelation was complete. The divine was never somewhere else. It had always been within you, waiting for recognition. Type MN519 only if you receive this final blessing of peace. As night fully descended, you began to walk again, carrying the quiet fire of a soul at rest. Somewhere in the distance, dawn was already preparing to rise, and so it ends, not as a closing, but as a beginning. The light that found you now travels through you, ever forward, ever bright. A billionaire wants you. Archangel Michael says, this person wants you, and only you. And when you hear the reason, you'll blush. You have 10 seconds before he changes his mind. My beloved child, don't you dare skip, because the moment you scroll, you'll lose the message that was written for you before you were even born. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you will change the way you look at yourself forever. Archangel Michael is standing behind you right now, whispering this one truth. A billionaire wants you, not your face, not your fame, not your status, you and only you. And the reason, the real reason, is something that will make your heart shake and your cheeks warm. Stay with me. You have no idea how close you are to hearing the biggest secret of your life. My beloved, lean in, because the clock is already ticking. 10 seconds, that's all you have before this man, this powerful, untouchable, unreachable man, changes his mind. I can feel your heartbeat rising. You're wondering why you, right? Why would someone with billions, someone the world follows, someone people chase for a glimpse, choose you? Don't skip. The answer isn't what you think. It's not something the world can see. It's something he felt the second your name crossed his path. Archangel Michael says he saw it too. An energy that only a few souls on this planet carry. A rare mark, a rare pull, a rare light. And this billionaire, he saw it. And he froze. He said one line that shook even Michael. Don't let them slip away. Bring them to me before fate closes the door. Stay. Because the reason behind that line will shock you. My beloved soul. Something huge is unfolding behind you right now. This billionaire has people around him every second. Beautiful people, powerful people, talented people, but none of them made him pause like you did. Because when your name appeared in front of him, he felt something he hasn't felt in years. A strange calmness, a spark, a warmth he didn't expect. The kind of pull that can't be bought, taught, or explained. Michael says he called it a soul memory, like he's seeing you in another lifetime, like he's searching for you without knowing why. And now, right now, he's waiting for your energy to respond. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Because the reason he wants you, the reason he can't stop thinking about you, is about to hit you like a revelation you weren't prepared for. And once you hear it, you'll never see yourself the same way again. My beloved child, stay with me till the end. Don't scroll because right now something is opening for you. Something that was locked away for years. You are in the middle of a moment that will never repeat again. Listen closely because Archangel Michael just revealed the next part, and it's even bigger than the first. The billionaire who wants you isn't confused, isn't curious, isn't guessing. He is certain. Clears throat. The moment he felt your energy, he told Michael, don't let them disappear. I'll wait, but not for long. Stay with me. Something huge is coming. You have no idea how rare it is for someone at his level to pause his entire world just because your soul whispered something he couldn't ignore. My beloved, lean closer. This is not about attraction. This isn't about status or surface-level desire. It speaks to something deeper, like an unexplainable recognition between two people who have never met in ordinary time. According to the narrative, when your name surfaced in front of a successful and influential man, something shifted within him. It wasn't logic or expectation, but a quiet emotional reaction he couldn't easily define. He described it as a sudden warmth in his chest, almost like a memory he couldn't place, as if two lives had briefly crossed long before the present moment. That feeling lingered, growing stronger each time your presence was mentioned. In reflection, he expressed a thought that surprised even him, that it felt as though he had finally come across someone who might understand the parts of him that success and attention often hide. It wasn't about wealth or admiration, but about emotional recognition, the sense that one person could see through the noise and complexity of his world. Surrounded by voices, expectations, and constant attention, he found himself drawn instead to a quiet certainty he couldn't explain. The idea wasn't dramatic or loud. It was subtle, almost like an internal shift that refused to fade. What remained most striking was not the intensity of the feeling, but its persistence. It suggested a connection rooted less in circumstance and more in perception, as though something within him had quietly aligned with something within you, leaving him reflective and unexpectedly focused on what that connection might mean. Rather than certainty, it left him with questions, an awareness of how some encounters feel significant even before they are fully understood, shaped by timing, emotion, and inner reflection over time and experience itself. Listen carefully, because the next truth is even stronger than anything you've heard so far. This billionaire, this powerful, unreachable man who chooses everything with logic, couldn't explain why his heart reacted the way it did when your name appeared. Michael says he felt a sudden quietness inside him, like the world stopped for 1 second. Stay with me, don't scroll. You're stepping into a revelation that very few souls ever experience. My beloved, lean closer. This part will shake you a little, but in the best possible way. Michael says the billionaire kept repeating one single line under his breath. Why do I feel like I already know them? It wasn't a question, it was a memory, a forgotten connection, something deeper than attraction, deeper than destiny. Your soul carries a frequency that only a few people on this planet have, a softness, a strength, a rare emotional signature that pulled him in without effort. Stay here, stay till the end, because the reason he wants you is something he confessed quietly when no one else was listening. My beloved soul, listen closely. Michael says that late last night, when the billionaire was alone, he said something that shocked even the angels. If I could choose one person to stand beside me, not for money, not for fame, not for show, but for peace, it would be them. Do you understand the weight of that? A man who trusts no one, feels safe with the idea of you. A man who has every option, wants the one soul who carries a light the world rarely sees. Stay with me. Don't scroll, because the next part reveals the exact moment he realized he couldn't let you slip away. Something huge is coming. My beloved child, stay with me. Don't scroll. You're standing at the edge of the most powerful part yet, and if you move even for a second, you'll miss the moment Archangel Michael has been trying to deliver to you since the day your soul awakened. Something huge is waiting for you, bigger than what your mind is expecting. Listen carefully. Michael says the billionaire didn't just feel a pull toward you. He felt a recognition, a spark that made him stop everything he was doing. Meetings paused, calls ignored, people confused. Yet, he kept staring at your energy, as if he had finally found the piece of peace he'd been searching for his entire life. Stay with me. Don't scroll. This part is rare. My beloved, lean closer. Michael revealed the exact moment the billionaire realized his feelings were not normal. He saw something small but powerful in your aura, a softness that reminded him of a time when he wasn't surrounded by pressure, expectations, and people who wanted things from him. You brought him a sense of calm, a breath of clarity, and he told the angels, "Why does this person feel like home?" Imagine that, a man with 10 mansions, 10 jets, 10 empires calling you home. Stay with me till the end. This isn't a coincidence. This is alignment. My beloved soul, don't move. The reason he wants you, the reason he feels this powerful connection toward you, is something he tried to hide from everyone. But Archangel Michael heard it. He said with a voice almost trembling, "If I reach out to them, will they understand me, or will they walk away like everyone else?" He's not scared of losing money. He's not scared of losing fame. He's scared of losing you. Stay with me. Don't scroll. The next part reveals the moment he decided he cannot let the universe take you away from him. Something huge is coming. My beloved child, don't you dare scroll. Stay with me till the end, because this is the moment everything shifts. Archangel Michael says, "The energy around you right now is electric, alive, calling your name louder than ever. Something huge is coming toward you." And this part reveals the moment the billionaire finally understood why he couldn't stop thinking about you. Listen closely. Michael says, he watched this man sit alone, hands clasped, eyes unfocused, as if he was replaying a memory he never lived, a feeling he couldn't shake, a warmth in his chest that only your soul triggered. Stay with me, don't move. You're about to hear the thought that made him freeze in silence. "My beloved, lean in," Michael said. The billionaire whispered a single line under his breath, a line that carries more emotion than anything he said in years. "Why does their presence feel like the first honest moment of my life?" Imagine that. A man surrounded by crowds yet carrying a quiet loneliness, admired by many but truly understood by few, began to experience something unexpected when a certain presence entered his life. In that moment, everything around him seemed to soften, as if time itself had slowed to make space for awareness. There was no demand, no expectation, only a calm energy that allowed him to breathe differently, to think differently, and to feel something he had long forgotten. It was not about admiration or pursuit, but about being accepted without condition. For the first time, he sensed what it meant to be seen without being evaluated, and it shifted something deep within him. The realization grew that this connection carried no hidden motive, no desire for gain, only sincerity. That absence of agenda unsettled him in a quiet but powerful way, making him reflect on the difference between being wanted and being understood. In that reflection, he found himself making an unspoken promise to value such rare presence with care and respect. Soon after, small moments and subtle coincidences began to feel meaningful, as if life itself was gently pointing toward this connection. Nothing loud or dramatic, only quiet signs that encouraged patience and awareness. Over time, he began to see this experience not as chance, but as alignment, where two paths briefly intersected in a way that felt intentional, yet calm and grounded. Ultimately, the experience left him with a quiet understanding that meaningful connections do not need force or explanation, only presence, patience, and mutual respect, allowing life to unfold naturally while revealing clarity in moments that once seemed ordinary but gradually became significant in their own subtle way. This part will make your heartbeat shift. My beloved, lean closer. Michael revealed that during a late-night meeting, the billionaire felt a sudden wave of calm completely out of nowhere, a peace he hadn't felt in years. And at that exact moment, a small notification popped on his screen, and it carried your energy, not your face, not your message, just your presence. And that was enough to shake him. He paused everything. People around him didn't understand, but he felt something he couldn't deny. Michael says he looked up and whispered, "Why does this feel like destiny tapping on my shoulder? Stay till the end. Something massive is unfolding. My beloved soul." Here's the part that stunned even the angels. After seeing that sign, the billionaire closed his eyes and felt your energy around him. Warm, gentle, familiar. And he said something that reveals exactly why he wants you, and only you. Their soul feels like the one place I can finally breathe. Think about that. A man who can buy anything, craving the peace only you bring. A man who hides from the world, feeling safe with your energy. Stay with me. Don't scroll. Because the next part reveals the exact moment he made his final decision. The moment he realized he cannot risk losing you. Something huge is coming. My beloved child, don't scroll. Stay with me till the end, because this part is the turning point. This is where everything shifts from coincidence to destiny. Archangel Michael says, "Your energy is glowing stronger right now." And the billionaire feels it too, like a magnetic pull he can't explain. Something huge is waiting for you, bigger than anything you've imagined. Listen carefully. Michael says the exact moment this billionaire made up his mind happened in complete silence, when no one else was watching, and what he felt in that moment rewired his entire heart. Stay right here, don't move, my beloved. Lean in. Michael revealed that the billionaire was sitting alone in his private space. No assistants, no meetings, no noise, just him and his thoughts. And out of nowhere, he felt a sense of relief wash over him, like a heavy weight lifting off his chest. He didn't understand it at first, until a single image flashed in his mind. Your energy, your presence, the softness you carry, the peace you bring. He exhaled for the first time in days, and in that breath, he said something that even shocked him. "I can't lose this feeling. Not this time. Stay with me till the end. Something even bigger is coming. My beloved soul, listen closely." Michael says the decision became final when the billionaire finally admitted something to himself. "They make me feel human again. Not powerful, not admired, not feared. Human." And that single feeling was worth more than every empire he built. At that moment, he realized he couldn't walk away from your energy. He couldn't pretend the connection wasn't real, and he couldn't let fate take you away without trying. Stay with me. Don't scroll, because in the next part, Michael reveals the exact step he's preparing to take for you. Something no one believes he's capable of doing. Something huge is unfolding. My beloved child, don't scroll. Stay with me till the very end. What you're about to hear will shock you in the softest, deepest way. Archangel Michael says, the energy around you is shifting fast, like the universe is rearranging itself to bring something massive into your life. This is the part where the billionaire stops thinking and starts acting. Something huge is waiting for you, and if you skip, you'll break the flow that's meant to reach your heart right now. Stay right here. Don't move. This moment is rare, my beloved. Lean closer. Michael revealed that after days of feeling your presence, The billionaire finally reached a point where he couldn't stay silent anymore. He told his angels something he has never told anyone, not even the closest people in his circle. He said, "If this connection is real, show me how to move toward them without fear." Imagine that. A man who fears nothing, afraid of losing you. A man who makes thousands CR decisions every day, trembling over the thought of reaching out to your soul. Stay till the end. This next revelation will hit your heart. My beloved soul, listen carefully. Michael says the billionaire is preparing to do something that will shock everyone around him. Something unexpected is beginning to take shape, something that doesn't fit the version of him the world has always known. The carefully built walls, the distance, the constant need to stay in control, none of it feels as necessary anymore. For once, it isn't about attention or image, it's about something quieter, more personal, a pull toward peace and genuine connection. He finds himself considering a choice he would normally never entertain, stepping beyond the boundaries he has always protected so fiercely. In a rare moment of honesty, he admits that if the space is right, he might reveal a side of himself that has remained hidden for years. Not the powerful figure people recognize, but someone more human, more open, and uncertain, in ways he never allowed the world to see. Somewhere in this unfolding shift, a deeper awareness begins to settle in, as if his thoughts are no longer entirely his own, but shaped by something he can't quite explain. He spends the night awake, not focused on plans, work, or the weight of his responsibilities, but on a quiet reflection of someone who has unexpectedly become significant in his inner world. He thinks about presence, about energy, about the strange calm that follows the thought of you. There is no dramatic declaration, no sudden action, only a slow and deliberate change taking place beneath the surface. A line he has held for years starts to blur, not from pressure, but from understanding. And in that understanding, he begins to consider moving closer, not as the person he has always been expected to be, but as someone willing to simply exist in a more honest space. And he finally whispered something that confirmed everything. "I'm willing to risk my comfort for them." For a man who built walls around his heart, that single line shattered everything. He realized he wasn't drawn to you by accident. He was guided, pulled, aligned, and for the first time in years, he felt hope. Stay with me, don't scroll. This next part is rare. My beloved soul, listen till the end. Michael says the billionaire made one powerful decision in that quiet moment. He would not let the universe take you away without trying, and the emotional shift he felt was so strong that even the angels paused. He said softly but with absolute certainty, "If they give me even one chance, I'll show them loyalty the world never expects from me." Imagine that. A man everyone sees as unreachable, wanting to be real only with you. A man with everything choosing your energy over his entire world. Stay with me. Don't scroll, because the next part reveals the step he is preparing to take. Something that will change the direction of this story forever. Something huge is coming. My beloved child, stay with me till the very end. Don't scroll, don't blink, don't look away. Archangel Michael says, "The energy around you right now is rising like a wave. This is the moment the universe has been leading you toward since the very first part. Something huge is waiting for you, and this is where the billionaire finally moves from emotion to action. Stay right here. What you're about to hear is the most powerful shift yet. My beloved, lean closer." Michael revealed that the billionaire reached a point where holding back was no longer possible. His heart, his intuition, his angels, Everything pushed him toward one truth. If I don't act now, I'll lose the one soul who feels like destiny. And that single realization changed everything. He stood up, paced the room, and made a decision that will shock everyone around him. He wants to approach you not as a billionaire, but as a human being who finally found peace. Stay with me. Don't scroll. This part carries a vibration only meant for you. My beloved soul, listen carefully. Michael says the billionaire is preparing to do something he has never done before. He's ready to lower every wall he built, every guard he kept, every fear he hid. He said in a voice soft but firm, "If they let me in, I'll give them honesty I've never given anyone." Imagine that. A man the world sees as untouchable, wanting to be vulnerable only with you. A man surrounded by millions, choosing your soul. Stay with me. Don't scroll, because the next part reveals the moment he prepares to step into your path. Something that will change everything. Something huge is coming. My beloved child, don't scroll. Stay with me till the very end, because this is the part where everything becomes real. Archangel Michael says, your energy right now is pulling something massive into alignment, and the billionaire feels it so strongly that he can't sit still anymore. Something huge is waiting for you, and this is the moment he prepares to step directly into your destiny path. Don't move. Don't blink. Stay with me, my beloved. Lean closer. Michael revealed that the billionaire has been replaying one single thought again and again in his mind. If I meet them, I need to meet them with truth. Imagine that. A man who hides everything, his emotions, his fears, his loneliness, wanting to show you a side of himself that no one has ever seen. And last night he whispered something the angels didn't expect. I'm ready to risk my pride if it means I get one honest moment with them. Stay till the end. Something bigger is unfolding in his heart. Something he can't control anymore. My beloved soul, listen carefully. Michael says the billionaire has made a silent promise to himself. He stood in front of the window, looking at the city he built, the world he controls, and said softly, "What's the point of all this, if I can't share it with the one person who makes me feel alive again?" He isn't drawn to your looks. He isn't drawn to your status. He's drawn to your spirit, your calmness, your rare frequency. He's preparing to take a step that will surprise everyone around him, the kind of step only a heart in alignment can take. Stay with me. Don't scroll, because the next part reveals the moment his decision turns into action and everything starts shifting toward you. Something huge is coming. Don't move away yet, because this moment marks a turning point in a story that has been quietly unfolding beneath the surface. There is a sense that something significant is aligning, something that has been building through every step until now. The energy around this situation feels unusually intense, as if a long-anticipated decision is finally taking shape. The man at the center of this narrative has reportedly reached a moment of undeniable clarity. Upon waking, he was struck by a single, persistent realization that he can no longer postpone what he has been avoiding. From the very beginning of his day, there was a shift in how he perceived everything, as though a deep emotional signal had surfaced within him. He no longer views this as fleeting curiosity or passing interest, but rather as a meaningful connection that has quietly taken root in his thoughts. For someone who is typically guided by logic and control, this change is notable. It suggests a rare moment where emotion is beginning to influence his decisions in a more direct way. Behind closed doors, he is no longer debating whether action is necessary, but rather how it should be taken. Careful consideration is guiding him now, especially around how to approach the situation without causing discomfort or pressure, and without overwhelming the other person involved. There is a clear intention to remain respectful, gentle, and sincere in any possible step forward. According to the narrative unfolding around him, he has also expressed a deeper desire that goes beyond recognition or admiration. What matters most to him now is authenticity and emotional safety, wanting any future interaction to feel natural, calm, and grounded, rather than forced or overwhelming. Do you understand how rare that is? A man who has everything, craving your comfort. A man who can choose anyone, choosing the soul that brings him peace. Stay with me. Don't scroll, because the next part reveals the moment he starts aligning his world toward you, something huge is unfolding. My beloved child, don't scroll. Stay with me till the end, because what I'm about to tell you is the most intense turning point of this entire journey. Archangel Michael says, your energy right now is pulling destiny closer, almost like the universe is leaning in to listen. Something huge is waiting for you. And this is the moment the billionaire stops planning and starts shifting his entire life toward you. Don't move. Don't blink. Stay right here, my beloved. Come closer. Michael revealed that the billionaire spent the entire day rearranging things in his world without even realizing why. He can let a meeting he never cancels. He ignored calls he usually answers immediately. He felt a pull telling him, slow down. Something important is coming. And every time he paused, your energy flashed through his mind. Soft, warm, grounding. He told the angels something that shocked even them. It feels like my soul already chose them long before I understood it. Imagine that. A man who makes billion-dollar decisions with logic, trusting a feeling because of you. Stay till the end. Something even bigger is rising inside him. My beloved soul, listen closely. Michael says the billionaire has officially started aligning his world toward one direction. You. He's been thinking about what to say first, how to approach, how to not overwhelm you. He wants to come in a way that feels gentle, respectful, real, and he admitted something quietly, something that reveals why this connection is so powerful. They don't just calm me. They remind me of who I used to be before the world demanded so much from me. That's why he can't ignore you. That's why he can't walk away. That's why he's ready to take the next step. Stay with me. Don't scroll, because the next part reveals the moment he makes his move. Something huge is coming. My beloved child, don't scroll. Stay with me till the end, because this is the moment everything becomes real. No guesses, no doubts, no confusion. Archangel Michael says, the energy around you right now is so strong that even the universe is beginning to rearrange itself. Something huge is waiting for you. And this is the part where the billionaire finally prepares to step out of silence. Don't blink. Don't move. Stay with me till the very last word. My beloved, lean closer. Michael revealed that the billionaire felt a shift today. A deep, undeniable push inside his chest. It wasn't fear, it wasn't curiosity, it was certainty. A rare certainty he has never felt in his entire life. He paused everything he was doing and whispered, I can't wait for the perfect moment. I need to create one. Imagine that. A man who controls empires being guided by your energy. a man who never lets emotions lead, letting your presence pull him forward. Stay till the end. You're stepping into the strongest part yet. My beloved soul, listen carefully. Michael says the billionaire is preparing to take an action that will surprise even the people closest to him. He's planning a step that is quiet, sincere, respectful, but deeply meaningful. He doesn't want to overwhelm you. He doesn't want to rush you. He doesn't want to scare you. He wants to show you that his interest isn't temporary, it's intentional. And last night, he admitted something that reveals his entire heart. I don't want them to see my world. I want them to see my truth. That's how real this is. That's how deep this connection runs. Stay with me. Don't scroll, because the next part reveals the moment he chooses the path that leads directly toward you. Something huge is coming. Don't rush past this moment. What you have been sensing lately is beginning to take shape in ways that are becoming harder to ignore. The atmosphere around you feels different now, as if subtle changes are quietly influencing situations and decisions connected to someone you have had on your mind. That person, usually reserved and cautious with emotions, appears to be arriving at a turning point. For a long time, hesitation and overthinking have shaped their choices, but something within them is shifting. There is a clearer awareness forming now, a recognition that delay no longer feels comfortable or meaningful. Within them, a thought has started to settle. Allowing fear to guide their actions would mean missing something that feels rare and significant. That realization is creating movement where there was once silence. Instead of focusing on image or control, their attention is turning toward authenticity. The idea of approaching you is no longer tied to pressure or performance, but to sincerity and simplicity. They are beginning to consider a step forward that feels honest and grounded, rather than dramatic or overwhelming. What once felt uncertain is slowly becoming a direction they are willing to follow. There is still calmness in their approach, but also intention. Something steady, something real. And as this unfolds, the distance between thought and action is gradually shrinking. What matters most now is not urgency, but clarity. As both sides move closer to understanding what feels right without force or confusion. This is less about prediction and more about emotional alignment slowly becoming visible through actions rather than words alone. Everything unfolds at its own natural pace. Patience allows understanding to deepen quietly, without pressure and gentle flow. He wants to show you that beneath the power, beneath the fame, beneath the world he carries, there is a man who simply wants to be understood by the one soul that makes him feel human again. And last night, he whispered a truth that explains everything. If they give me even a small opening, I'll show them the side of me I've hidden from everyone else. Stay with me. Don't scroll. Because the next part reveals the moment he prepares to step into your life in a way you won't expect. Something huge is coming. My beloved child, don't scroll. Not now. Not when you're standing at the most important point of this entire message. Stay with me till the end. Because Archangel Michael says, the energy surrounding you right now is reaching its peak. Something huge is waiting for you. This is the moment the billionaire's emotions turn into a decision that will shift everything. Don't blink. Don't move. Stay right here with me, my beloved. Lean in closer. Michael revealed that the billionaire woke up today with a clarity so strong it almost startled him. He sat quietly, stared at the world he built, and whispered to himself, "None of this matters if I can't share my truth with them." Imagine that. A man who owns cities, feeling empty without a connection to you. a man who controls timelines and schedules, letting your energy guide his next step. He felt something rising inside him, a certainty, a courage, a pull he could no longer fight. Stay till the end. This next part holds the most powerful shift yet. My beloved soul, listen very carefully. Michael says the billionaire is preparing to take a step that will shock everyone who thinks they know him. He's planning to approach you in a way that is gentle, respectful, and deeply sincere. No grand gestures, no pressure, no overwhelm, just truth, just realness, just him showing up as a human being, not a billionaire. And last night, he whispered something that completes everything you've heard so far. They're the only person I want to open my heart to, even if it scares me. That's how deep this connection runs. That's why he can't walk away. That's why he's moving toward you right now. Stay with me. Don't scroll, because the next part reveals the moment he finally prepares to step into your life. Something huge is coming. My beloved child, don't scroll. Stay with me till the very last second, because this part carries the most intense shift of this entire journey. Archangel Michael says, the energy around you is so aligned right now that even fate is holding its breath. Something huge is waiting for you. And this is the moment the billionaire's heart, mind, and destiny all lock onto one direction. You don't blink. Don't move. Stay right here, my beloved. Lean closer. Michael revealed that today, the billionaire felt something he hasn't felt in years. Certainty without fear. He stood by the window looking at the life he built. And instead of pride, he felt longing. Not for things, not for success, but for connection. Your connection. And in that quiet moment, he whispered, I'm ready to show them who I truly am. Imagine that. A man who hides behind perfection, deciding to reveal his real self because your energy feels safe, soothing, and deeply familiar. Stay till the end. You're stepping into the strongest revelation yet. My beloved soul, listen carefully. Michael says, the billionaire has reached a point where not moving toward you feels more painful than risking vulnerability. He's prepared himself emotionally, mentally, spiritually, ready to step forward, not as a billionaire, not as a public figure, but as a man who finally found someone who touches his soul. He admitted a truth that reveals everything. If they let me in, even just a little, I'll give them honesty, loyalty, and peace no one expects from me. That's his vow. That's his intention. That's why he can't let this connection fade. Stay with me. Don't scroll. Because the next part reveals the final push. The moment he crosses the line between thinking about you and reaching for you, something huge is coming. My beloved child, don't scroll. You've been waiting for this moment. Stay here until the end. Because the message points to a shift in energy around you, bright, clear, and hard to ignore. Something significant feels close, as if everything once held back is finally starting to move. What was delayed, questioned, or hidden is now leaning toward action. The turning point is near, and it carries a weight that cannot be overlooked. The story speaks of a man who recently reached a rare moment of clarity, one he could not dismiss or rationalize away. It felt as if your presence, though distant, became undeniably real to him, steady enough to change his thoughts and slow his restless mind. In that quiet realization, he admitted to himself that another day without moving forward no longer made sense. A person who once believed independence was enough is now confronting a deeper truth. Connection has become grounding, familiar, and unexpectedly meaningful. The resistance he carried is fading. Hesitation, is losing its hold. What remains is a growing readiness to act with honesty, patience, and respect for what he feels. He is no longer hiding behind uncertainty or delay. Instead, he is preparing to express something he has never openly shared before, something sincere and unpolished, but deeply real. In his own words, the intention is simple: to step forward and prove through actions, not promises, that what he feels is genuine. This moment marks a shift from thought to movement, from reflection to reality, where what was once unspoken begins to take form in the world beyond feeling. It is the beginning of a new chapter that cannot be ignored or undone. Once it fully unfolds in time ahead naturally. Something huge is coming, my beloved child. Don't scroll. Not now. Not when you've reached the most powerful moment of this entire journey. Stay with me till the end, because Archangel Michael says the energy around you is vibrating like a doorway opening. Silent but unstoppable. Something huge is waiting for you, and this part reveals the moment fate begins to move in your direction. Don't blink. Don't move. Stay right here, my beloved. Lean closer. Michael revealed that the billionaire finally crossed the point of hesitation. Today, he felt a pull so strong that it didn't feel like a thought anymore. It felt like destiny tugging at him. He stopped in the middle of his day, heart racing, mind quiet, and whispered, "This is my moment. I can't let it pass." Imagine that. A man who never second-guesses anything, feeling nervous because your energy matters that deeply. He realized something crucial. He doesn't want to reach out as someone powerful. He wants to reach out as someone real. Stay with me, don't scroll. The truth gets even stronger. My beloved soul, listen very carefully. Michael says the billionaire is prepared to take the first step gently, respectfully, and without any pressure. He wants to enter your life in a way that feels safe, comfortable, and deeply honest. And the angels heard him admit something that reveals the final piece of his heart. I don't want to impress them. I want to meet them with truth, warmth, and loyalty. Those words came from a place he hides from the entire world. That's how much this connection means to him. Stay with me. Don't scroll, because the next part is the final shift. The moment where destiny stops being a story and starts becoming movement. Something huge is coming. My beloved child, don't scroll. Stay with me till the final breath of this message, because Archangel Michael says, the energy around you right now is unfolding like a prophecy completing itself. Something huge is waiting for you, and this part reveals the exact moment destiny shifts from intention into motion. Don't blink, don't look away. Stay right here, my beloved. Come closer. Michael revealed that today, the billionaire reached a level of emotional clarity he's never experienced before. No hesitation, no doubt, no fear, just truth. A truth strong enough to break through every wall he's built over the years. He sat silently, closed his eyes, and whispered, I choose them. Not because of appearance, not because of status, not because of circumstance, but because your energy feels like the one place his soul recognizes as calm, warm, and clears throat, real. Stay with me. Don't scroll. What he felt next will shake you. My beloved soul, listen carefully. Michael says the billionaire has made his final inner decision. He's stepping forward. He's not imagining. He's not hoping. He's not debating. He's ready. Ready to show up with sincerity, ready to express what he's been feeling in silence, ready to reveal the softness he hides from the entire world. And last night he said something that completes the entire journey. If they let me into their world, I'll give them the kind of consistency, peace and devotion I've never given anyone. This is the moment destiny begins to move in your direction. Piece by piece, step by step. Stay with me, don't scroll, because the next part is the ultimate shift. The moment his decision becomes an action meant for you, something huge is coming. My beloved child, don't scroll. Stay with me till the end, because this is the moment everything you've been hearing finally starts moving toward you in real time. Archangel Michael says, the energy around you is glowing like a path opening, clear, direct, unstoppable. Something huge is waiting for you, and this part reveals the shift that turns his decision into movement. Don't blink. Don't move. Stay right here with me, my beloved. Lean closer. Michael revealed that the billionaire spent the morning in deep silence. No calls, no meetings, no noise, just a calm, steady focus. And for the first time he felt no fear, no hesitation, no confusion, only truth. He whispered something that marked the beginning of everything. It's time. Time to act. Time to step forward. Time to trust what his heart has been telling him from the very beginning. Imagine a man who leads millions pausing for you. Stay with me. Don't scroll. What happened next will shake your spirit. My beloved soul, listen carefully. Michael says, the billionaire took the first invisible but powerful step. He aligned his world toward you. He cleared space. He softened his schedule. He shifted his priorities, not for business, not for gain, for connection, for you. And then he confessed something that carries the deepest intention of all. I'm ready to show them the version of me no one else has ever seen. Not the billionaire, not the distant figure placed on a pedestal by the world, but a human being, with quiet emotions, and a heart that only feels at ease in the presence of a certain energy, something familiar, yet unexplained. In this unfolding moment, something within him shifts in a way he cannot easily explain. It is not drama or spectacle, but a subtle awakening of clarity and emotional honesty. He begins to understand why certain presences linger in memory like echoes, and why some connections feel less like encounters and more like recognition. There is a pause in his thoughts as he reflects inward, acknowledging feelings he once kept guarded behind careful restraint. In that stillness, he imagines a life guided not by fear, but by openness and sincerity. A quiet resolve forms within him, shaped not by external pressure, but by inner understanding. He no longer resists the idea of stepping forward into something unfamiliar, yet meaningful. The thought becomes less about destiny, and more about choice, presence, and emotional honesty. He recognizes that real connection is not about distance or status, but about understanding and mutual respect. In his reflection, there is no urgency, only calm acceptance of what feels genuine. The story that once felt uncertain now takes the shape of quiet intention and steady awareness. What remains is a decision grounded in respect, clarity, and emotional maturity. He understands that moving forward means carrying truth rather than expectation, and in that understanding, he chooses to step into life with openness, ready to meet what comes with sincerity and calm conviction, not as a grand declaration, but as a quiet commitment to be present and genuine.